Hello, it's Oopsy Daisy. I'm Ashley.
And it is me, Vanessa.
Alright, today we are going to go over the episode Prank Wars. Is there anything we wanted to say before we start?
I don't know. How's is Barry good?
Yeah, he's been fine. He had his last training session Saturday.
Did he graduate?
No. I mean, that's not that.
Oh,
It's not that
oh
kind of training session. They don't graduate.
no! My dog graduated from training sessions.
We didn't. It's not that formal.
You mean you didn't get a little grad hat?
No.
Oh my god, you weren't living then. Barry is not living.
He had 6 1-hour sessions.
Oh right, you guys didn't go to an obedience class or anything. You had someone who just showed
No.
up. I forgot.
Yeah.
You're still not living.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I don't have the money to live.
yeah.
Okay.
How's how's the Disney Plus life?
I actually haven't watched a thing.
I've watched so much. Ashley's mom now has another daughter, apparently.
Yeah, because of course Vanessa is.
I'm a
Okay,
freeloader.
yes, Vanessa's a freeloader. So because she asked me if I was getting Disney Plus, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get Disney Plus. So I had said I would share my login with her. But apparently my mom was like, hey, like our phone plan, because we have Verizon, it comes with it for free, so don't get it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm sharing Disney Plus with my whole family right now. But I already promised Vanessa that I would give her the login. So I still gave her the login. And then she here up and makes like her own little profile.
Yeah, I thought that's what you wanted me to do. So I made my
The
own
whole point
profile.
was to be discreet.
You didn't tell me that at all.
So she makes her own profile, and I'm like, Vanessa, what are you doing?
She didn't tell me. There was no guideline. She said, here's the code. Okay, thanks. Made my own profile. I was being nice. I didn't want
And
to
then I
jack
was like,
someone else.
Vanessa, you could just use mine. And then she's like, okay, but she still puts her name next to mine.
It's because we're family now.
So when I was talking to my mom, like, it was like the next day or something, she was like, oh, and also, I have another daughter, I guess? And I'm like, what the heck is she talking about? And then she's like, so Vanessa gets to use my Disney Plus. And I was like, yeah, yeah.
I'm her daughter from a previous relationship. Don't worry about it. I'm her favorite child.
Right. And I think it was my sister. Because she was like, because she thought we got hacked. She was like, what is this? And then I think it must have been my sister. She was like, oh, no, that's Ashley's friend.
Megan is such a strong girl.
Yeah, so, and my mom was like, oh, okay.
Megan is a strong girl. That's all that matters. But no,
Oh,
I've
boy.
watched so much. I've been watching The Mandalorian. Uh, I've watched some Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, of course.
Right.
I'm living. What else did I watched some Even Stevens, because I am living. And have I told you how cringeworthy these shows are when you rewatch them? At like,
You were telling me about Even Stevens.
oh my god, I was so disgusted. I was like crying. I
Well,
was
you know
sending you
what? I
pictures.
went back, not recently, because I haven't watched anything on Disney Plus yet. For one, I don't like rewatching things, so it's going to take me a while to actually get around to rewatching some of the old shows.
Bite your tongue.
But anyway, but I rewatched an episode or so of Hannah Montana a while back, and I was like, "Oh my god, how did I watch this like all the time? This is bad."
Well,
Like
I
the
gotta.
acting was just bad.
Oh yeah,
Well, I watched Lizzie McGuire not too long ago, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a little corny, but it wasn't that bad."
that's because Lizzie M is way better than Hannah M. But no, I have a friend who she's like, "Yo, my brother got Disney Plus. And did you know that all of Boy Meets World is on there? And I was like, obviously, who do you think you're talking to? And she's like,
Of
you're right.
course.
Like, her name on my phone is Jedediah
Oof.
because that's Topanga's dad's name.
Yeah.
So, and her first two letters of her name is the same as Jedediah. So,
Oh my
like,
god.
that's it, Jedediah. So, we talk about how she got a dog, and I'm like, did you call it Little Corey? And she's like, no. And I was like, what's wrong with you? So, that's who I am.
Okay. So yeah, I haven't watched anything on Disney Plus. I'm bad, but
Baby Yoda.
I haven't. Yeah. If
Baby
anything,
Yoda.
I still have to watch like all of the sequels of the main
Well, I have a
Star
friend
Wars.
who got the new Star Wars game, and I was like, do you know anything about Star Wars? She's like, nope. I was like, oh my god.
I'm not one of those people who can just like up and watch something without having context. I was like, no, no, no.
Yeah, so she's never seen anything, and I'm like, do you know anything? She's like, nope. And I was like,
It must be so confusing.
I'm like, how do you don't even know who the Emperor is? You don't know who Darth Vader is? What is wrong with you?
Like basically, if anyone was, if you like, I know the original series, the original trilogy pretty well. I watched all the prequels. I just haven't seen anything from the sequels, like the recent ones. So I know like some of the main characters' names and somewhat of what happens, but that's the only thing that would like get me confused if I were to play a game. Like they would say, "Oh, that dude over there," or, they say his weird name, and I'm just like, "Who? I don't know."
That's literally what she's going through right now.
But she's like completely lost. Like she hasn't been like in the world whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm like, you haven't seen any of them. She's like, nope. And
That's even worse.
I'm like, how do you live this like
That would
Star
be
Wars?
like not watching a whole thing of one show and then watching the finale. And then you're like, yeah, I'll watch the finale, but you you don't know any of these characters or anything.
I know. And she's like, I don't like sci-fi. And I'm like, get out of my face. It's just bad. Anyway, I was looking on your Daisy thing, and no, we will never do a fashion thing because we don't do fashion here.
Yeah, I think we said it in the podcast.
We
We're
did.
not fashion savvy people.
And I've said many a times that it's only Nora going to the Salvation Army and picking up random things. Because that's what it looks like. These clothes don't make sense.
Okay, so let's go on to today's episode, Prank Wars. Vanessa, you want to give us your description summary?
So, as per the name, it's a show about pranks. Um, Derek's family, his immediate family, think pranking's the best. The McDonald's are like, what the fuck? We don't have a pranking bone in our body. But then, like, Casey becomes all manipulative and, like, hires someone to do her bidding, like a creepy murderer, which is why TED Talk again. And yeah, so pranks get out of hand, people get blamed, and yeah, that episode.
Okay. Well, we start off this episode with Casey sleeping and Derek's knocking on her door. And he's yelling at her, being like, "Are you playing hooky? It's 8:30." So Casey groggily looks at her alarm clock to see that it is in fact 8:30, and she jumps out of bed because like she's severely late in getting ready for school. So she gets out of her room and she asked why no one woke her up. And Derek's like, "I'm waking up now." Because he said,
Okay.
yeah,
Just
he's
now.
like, yeah, just now. Since he heard her snoring. And then Casey's like, "I don't snore."
No one thinks they snore. Let's
Yeah.
be real.
And then Derek's like, "Well, do you sleep with bagpipes?"
That doesn't make sense to me, though. Just saying.
Was she like? I guess maybe she would have to have it in her mouth while she's sleeping, and then just as she's breathing. It helps calm her nerves.
Oh God. She needs it.
So, and then, as she's about to go into the bathroom, she asks why he's not at school. And he says that he has a dentist appointment. And he's saying this while he's like flossing his teeth. Makes it extra believable. But my question is that, okay, he has a doctor's appointment, but like, he's going himself?
Maybe.
I never went to an appointment like by myself.
I'm thinking maybe his parents maybe were coming by just to pick him up.
Maybe.
That
I
could
don't know.
happen.
I never went during school. I know
I did.
students who did, but I
I did.
never went during school.
That's because not all of us are keeners like you. We wanted to get out of school. I've had
Not that I wouldn't
doctors.
have wanted to, but I think my mom was just like, that's too much of a hassle.
I've had like chiropractor sessions before school. I've had. I'm trying to think. I had an eye doctor thing when I had glasses and I had to wear them. And then they like, you know how they do the testing and they put drops in your eye and it makes your eyes like your pupils go huge for like
Yeah.
forever. Yeah, so they're like, yeah, wear sunglasses because your eyes are gonna die. And I was like, okay, so I got to wear sunglasses all through school, and I had a doctor's note for it. So you should go to the doctors more often because you can have cool things like that. Just saying.
Yeah, but we don't have universal health care, so it's a little bit expensive.
Oh right, we all can't live.
Anyway, Casey buys the lie and she thanks him, saying it's not like him to be so helpful. That's because he isn't Casey. So it then cuts to Casey coming home, and Derek and Edwin are on the stairs, and Derek has his camera out ready to catch Casey's reaction, which is her coming through the front door being like, "It's Saturday!"
Yeah. I feel like
Derek,
she should have known that because I'm pretty sure that like anyone in her family, especially Derek, would have been like, "Oh, thank God it's Friday! Thank God."
oh yeah, and just how organized she is, I feel like she would have known better too. Like it's just I don't know.
There's
I mean, I know
big plot
sometimes
holes.
I wake up on Saturday and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to wake up. But then I'm like, oh wait, no, I can sleep more.
No, I
Like
don't do
just
that.
sometimes I do.
I know what day it is because I hate work. Like no matter where I work. Like I don't hate my job. I just gonna be like, oh my god, I just want to get home. I want to
And do
relax
nothing. Yeah,
and
I
do
know.
nothing. So I keep tabs on which day it is.
I mean, I'm in
So
the same boat. I don't necessarily hate my job, but I hate working. Especially with my job, I feel like I still work while I'm at home. I still answer emails and everything.
you should be paid for that.
Yeah, well, I don't. So,
Why are you answering emails then?
because some of these people need to have answers, and I can give them.
Office hours.
No, I don't really do that.
Well, you should.
But yeah, despite the fact of that, my days are always up in whack. Like last week, it was Monday, and I was like, it felt like a Thursday. That's
That's
how
not
bad it
possible.
was.
Mondays are always garbage.
No, but it just felt like a Thursday because it felt like that much time has happened if
Oh,
within that one day.
oh Jesus. See, I take
But
so
then, like,
much.
every day after that still felt like a Thursday.
Oh
To the
God.
point that when it was a Thursday, it didn't feel like a Thursday.
What, did it feel like a Monday at that point?
I don't know. I really don't even know. But it didn't feel like a Thursday. And then on Friday, it felt like Thursday again as well because it didn't feel like it
God,
was the end of the week.
you're
Like,
you're just messed up in your head right now.
I am, yeah. So, like, like, even yesterday when I woke up, I was just like, I'm like, oh, well,
You
because I
know,
still have to get up the same time for Barry
you know what?
to take him out. And then I go
Guess
back to
what?
sleep. What?
I take so much track of my days off that I have already written onto my calendar that I have like 2 weeks off for Christmas.
Dude. They let
Yeah.
you take that much time off, though?
We get a week off, and I requested extra time off. So
How do they do your extra time? Like, do you accumulate it, or do they give you like a
well,
standard
I just
so
started there,
many?
so like you're supposed to get like 2 weeks vacation paid because
Okay.
it's union, but I just started, so I don't have any accumulated, so I just don't get paid, which was fine for me because I just want to relax because that's the only time I take holidays anyway. So
Yeah, me
I
too. I have like basically a month off,
yeah, I
maybe
just
like three
don't do
weeks,
anything
but
else. When people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go for summer," I'm like, "Why?" I just do
yeah,
it all at Christmas.
it depends what's happening. Because like one time I had my friend's wedding, so
Is that when you went and got Philly cheesesteak without me?
yes.
Oh, fuck you.
So I had gone up for the wedding, but I stayed for like a couple of days, like to be and see people and everything. So, but usually my big time off, the chunk I take is during, Christmas. Because I'm not doing anything at my job because there's a break. And yeah, so. But we get PTO, which like basically almost every pay period, that which is like every 2 weeks, I get about like 3 to 4 hours of paid time off. So essentially, I'll get 1 day ish a month. So
I'm just eating here. Don't worry about it.
yeah, I figured when I was hearing like this big lapse of like silence, I'm like, she's eating. Okay, so Derek had made her go to school on her day off, and so she like races after him up the stairs because she's all like, Derek! So then we go to the blue screen scene, and Casey says that for guys like Derek, every day is prank day, but she'll get him back if that's the last thing she does.
And there it
And her
is.
smile is super creepy there.
That's when her serial killer side has popped out.
Yes, for sure. That
Mm-hmm.
was just like really scary.
She's plotting. She's like, yeah, I don't have to hold back now. It's gone.
And the fact that she often talks to herself like this
Yes!
in these blue screen moments.
Exactly. She's like manic. She's like
Yeah.
talking to herself.
So yeah, okay.
Yo, what if
Yo,
this show and everything is all in Casey's mind?
none of it is real.
None of it is real.
And she's just in this like psych hospital, just like
Yeah.
like rocking back and forth.
Yo, we need
And all
to.
you hear is her going like, damn Rick. Damn Rick.
We're gonna expand on this in a future episode. I'm writing this note down. This is great.
And Derek's actually just like
The
one
nurse
of
taking care of her.
yeah. Yeah. Like they keep asking for you and he's like, I don't know, I just gave her pudding.
This is great. This is great. I'm writing this down.
Okay, so then we're gonna cut to that they're at dinner, and apparently Casey is late for it, and her watch had stopped working, presumably because Derek did something to it. Also, damn, they eat late.
What time is it?
They eat at 7 o'clock.
Okay, yo, you think that's late? I would go to my sister's house and she's like, "Oh, I'm just having supper," and I'm like, "It's 9."
No, 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 no. I go to bed at like 10 o'clock. I try to go to bed at 10 o'clock, no later. I would love to go to bed at like 9:30. So
Yeah.
eating so close to bed is just like a no to me.
I know, I hated it. I was like, you can't digest.
And it's just I get home from work around like 3:30 ish now. Right when I get home, I start making my food and I eat it right as I finish it, like around 4 or so.
Yeah, I eat around 4, 5, 6.
I have to eat then, or I can't even wait until like 5 or 6. It's
Mm-hmm.
just too much. And then wait until 7? No! I know a lot of people eat that late, but I just can't.
Yeah, usually to me it's like 5, 6:30. That's like eating
That's what I
time.
used to eat when I was like little, like when.
Yeah,
But
that's why I think of that time.
but anymore, like my whole family now they eat around like 4, so Because I would come home and I'd be like, I'm hungry. Are we going to eat? So
That's
they
me
started
every
like,
day.
okay. So Derek, then he's like, it's like, oh, well, it's important to be punctual. So, like, you should get a new battery for your watch. And Edwin's saying, yeah, you wouldn't want to be late to school unless it was a Saturday. Edwin, you're annoying.
Edwin, that's not even funny. Like, yeah, we get it. I mean, the rest of the family doesn't get it, but oh my god. Way to try to be a center of attention.
I know. And then George is like, what happened? Because obviously only Edwin and Derek and Casey and apparently Lizzie know what happened. So Lizzie fills George in and she says that, Derek had rigged her clock and everything. So she ended up going to school and she didn't realize it until she got there. And so George is like, oh my god, that would have been, priceless to see. I wish I could have seen her reaction. And of course, Edwin's like, oh, you can, because we videotaped it. So with the fact that they taped it, he was like, nice, nice, nice.
What I love is how George is like, oh, I would love to see my child have a mental breakdown because she's panicking. He's such a dysfunctional father. Oh my god.
And all the while, Nora's like looking at him like, what? She like, George, you have to reprimand like Derek on his juvenile behavior. And Derek's like, me? Juvenile? And then he reveals that George himself was a prankster. Like, he superglued the teacher's beakers to his desk. He whoopee cushioned every seat in the math class.
That's dumb. But also,
Yeah.
how can you pull that off? Because it's like you put whoopee cushions under cushions. There's no. It's like a normal seat. So you're just gonna like put a whoopee cushion on
That's
top
how
of the
that's
seat?
how master prankster he is, Vanessa.
No, it's how many
Managed
plot
it.
holes this show has. Ah!
Then of course Casey's like, Ma, you married a prankster? And like all scandalized.
I know.
And Nora is like, I had no idea. How did you have no idea? How long did these two actually date?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, did you just go to like a speed dating place and like talk for 5 seconds and we're like, that's it, we're getting married?
Let's, ruin our kids' lives by like upheaving them and just, it's all gonna be good. It's gonna work out.
God, this
Because
show.
literally, if he's as much of a prankster as they're making him out to be, he would have like shown it by now.
Do you think he's such a prankster that he's playing the long game, that he wanted to prank everyone for that marriage? He was like, haha, Casey and Derek are never gonna get along. Best prank ever.
Oh my god.
And then like 10 years, 5 years down the road, after that other child, is it Simon? Is that the kid's name?
Yeah.
After Simon is born, he's like, joke's on you, I'm getting a divorce.
Oh god.
And Nora's like, what? I just had your child.
But yeah, so, George is like, oh, I that was just something I did in high school, college, and now and then at work. It's like George. Derek says he's a master prankster. That, George was a master prankster, and he has to live up to that family tradition. And Casey is like, this is what you choose to be responsible for? And Derek says his pranks against her are just a side project, and that his real genius is saved for school.
What did he do, though, at school that we've seen that was, like, his real genius prankster thing? Like, you don't see it.
I don't think we've actually seen anything he's done.
No.
I know in,
Plot holes.
in one of the last scenes of the show, they do, like, a prank.
Yeah, I know that. That was, like, the graduation thing.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know if they've actually shown Derek actually doing a prank on the school necessarily, at least not yet.
He's saving his genius for his graduation day. That's it.
Though I think he likes to go easy on her because he likes her.
Yeah, that's possible.
He does like the little stupid stuff because he knows she can handle that. And it's just like, well, let's just say like his prank is for her to go to school on a Saturday, and he could always be like, well, Casey, I thought you always went to school. You love school.
Yeah.
But then, we go back to them talking at dinner, and Lizzie then asks Nora if the potatoes they're eating are sweet potatoes, and Nora's like, no. So she takes the salt shaker, she tastes it, and it's sugar. And of course, Nora turns to Derek, and Derek's like, hey, that's kid stuff. And apparently it was not Nora.
Nora pranked her family and then blamed it on someone else. Classic. Absolutely mastermind. The real prank
Could
master.
you imagine? Derek, hey, that's kid stuff. And then she's like, yeah, it is pretty juvenile. I was trying.
Yeah. You know what? Nora's the mastermind behind it all.
No, it wasn't Nora. It was Marty. But seriously, all the pranking stuff, it just came out to light now. Like, obviously, Derek, it seems like he's been pranking Casey for a while. But, like, George hasn't tried to prank Nora the whole time. Like, it just boggles my mind. It's like, so then we see the McDonald girls are in the kitchen. The phone rings and Casey makes a comment saying, it's probably Derek prank calling his own house. And Nora's saying that they shouldn't give the boys the satisfaction of a reaction because that is what they want. And Lizzie's like, well, it's easy for you to say. No one's put itching powder into your socks. And
Was
they
it
both
not
like
her
look.
socks? It was her game. It was like her soccer pants, her shorts.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah, so it was in her actual shorts, which is horrific, horrifying.
And both Casey and Nora like look at her and they're like, what? And she was like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So George then comes up saying that the phone call was Nora's sister, saying that she's going to come over Friday and stay because she needs a break from Harry. And Nora is alarmed and she's getting angry. She's like, we just threw them a wedding 3 months ago. And then she asks why George didn't let her talk to her. And then George's like, well, because it isn't real. He reveals he was just kidding.
God, I hate how it's just like now all this is coming out and it makes me want to like strangle George.
And, Nora's like, it's not funny. And George is like, what do you mean? Your reaction all pink and blotchy? And then she runs after him. Not much different than how Casey runs after Derek, mind you.
Like mother, like daughter.
But also, what George brought up is exactly why I think Derek does it to Casey.
Yeah, he just likes the reaction, and her face
He just
gets all
likes to
pink
see
and
her
blotchy.
get all flustered and everything.
Just pink and blotchy.
Mm-hmm. So Casey then tells Lizzie to look out, since it looks like the Venturis are on a roll. And then right after that, we see Lizzie go into the bathroom. She's sniffing her toothbrush, and she checks the toilet, and the toilet has saran wrap on it.
Yo, I did that once.
Oh my god.
I forget where I saw it. I saw it like on a TV show, or I heard about it. It was April Fool's, so okay. And I was young, and I did that. Didn't work. Just want to say, the person went poop. It broke their...
Oh my god!
Did not work. But
was not prepared for that.
You're welcome, fans. But yeah, I've done that. Just backfired on me.
I have never been a practical, joke, person, so...
It's my only time I do it is, April Fool's, but I don't do that anymore. It was, when I was in, elementary school.
Yeah, I never did anything like that. I just seemed too mean. So anyway, so Lizzie marches out with the saran wrap, and she just chucks it at Edwin. He's like, ew, you know where that's been? And she's like, yeah, on the toilet where you put it.
Yeah.
And, Edwin's like, well, you gotta, I'm trying here. And then she's just like, Lizzie was like, well, the girls are figuring it out. Like, we know, we're figuring out how to maneuver around this stuff. But then when she flushes the toilet later, water spouts from the top and it hits Lizzie and she gets drenched.
It's disgusting.
Yes, it is. So right after this water incident, Lizzie goes into Casey's room and she's asking Casey to help her get Edwin back. But Casey's like, no, we can't stoop to their level. So we cut to a
Classic.
scene where Casey is waking up again. This time her alarm goes off saying it's 9 a.m. Casey rolls her eyes and she looks at her wristwatch too. And I guess it kind of confirms that it's 9 o'clock. I don't know. Like, even then, like, he could mess with her watch. You know
Yeah,
what
if
I
she's a
mean?
heavy sleeper, he could have just like
That's also
changed it.
something. How heavy of a sleeper is Casey?
Apparently, she sleeps like she's dead, I guess.
Because, okay, so he goes in there and he's like messing with her alarm clock. And then apparently, because then she sees that he had taken all of her shirts. And it's just like she didn't hear any of this at
Hmm.
all. It's like, come on now, Casey.
To be fair, I am a heavy sleeper as well.
I'm not.
I remember at one Christmas time, I got kicked out of my room because my grandparents took my room. So I had to sleep in the basement. And apparently the water heater blew, and I didn't hear a thing. And I was in the basement beside it. And then
Oh
my
my
parents
god.
were up all night vacuuming the water out of the
And
basement.
then you didn't hear any of it?
I still didn't hear any of it. I woke up and my parents are like, "Oh, how did you sleep?" I'm like, "Fine." They're like, "What?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, no, I'm a heavy sleeper as well. My mom woke me up once, like years ago, because I was sleeping in, and then she purposely like took a hammer to the wall and started nailing in something right outside my room
And
until
you
I
didn't
woke
wake
up.
up?
Until I woke up.
Oh god, how long was it until you woke up?
I don't know, but she was there doing that. So now it's a joke about like hammering shit out outside my door.
So yeah, so she sleeps, she's a heavy sleeper. And then apparently Casey then says that Derek even hid the towels and stole all her makeup. So she doesn't have any makeup on or anything when she comes down the stairs wearing one of Derek's shirts.
I have to say, it's the most stylish she's ever looked.
It's an orangutan shirt.
It's the most stylish she's ever looked, okay?
So as she's coming down the stairs, she ends up going into Derek's sleeve, and his ID picture is there, and of course his picture is him getting like kissed by like two girls.
Which would never happen because they make you like take actual serious pictures.
Yeah.
I tried to do blue steel in mine, and they
Huh?
would not allow it.
Oh.
So my picture was actually photoshopped.
My
Because
god.
mine was photoshopped, because I was doing it and he wasn't going. I went, why? And I like photoshopped he took a picture of my hands in the air and everything, and I had like a somewhat like smile on my face. So when I got my picture back, my hands were gone out of the picture. And I had a fucked up smile because he tried correcting it. So, just saying.
um.
Just saying. Also, I look like a serial killer in other photos. It's great.
So you and Casey would be in good company.
Yeah, in my yearbook for like grade 10, me and this guy like are like where we sat in the homeroom class picture thing. It's just like the headshots, and he looked like he was gonna murder someone, and I looked like I was too pleased that he was gonna murder someone. It was bad. I had like a smirk on my face or something, and it was bad. I'll have to show it to you at some point.
Okay. People point out also that, Casey obviously comes down, she's wearing Derek's shirt, but people point out that Casey could have easily borrowed something from Nora.
She wouldn't even let her use her bra. She ain't gonna borrow her mom's clothes.
Well, bra is different.
Her feet don't fit in that sock.
But still, like, Derek's not exactly, like, the same, like, but still, her mom, like, wearing one of her mom's shirts is still gonna look big on her, just like Derek's shirt did.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. It didn't
And then,
fit
like,
as...
maybe even one of Lizzie's bigger shirts could have fit her.
No.
Yeah.
Lizzie's like a pipsqueak.
The shirt she was wearing for bed could have fit Casey.
No, she would have hulked out of the shirt.
But still, she had alternatives.
Yes,
But
but
she
she went
chose
for the most
Derek's.
stylish one, which was the orangutan shirt. And this is why we will never do a clothing episode.
Yeah. Because Vanessa thinks the orangutan t-shirt is style. Okay. So then we see Casey. She's going to school. She's rushing because she's obviously late. And she angrily is walking down the hall. And then she sees Emily. She's like, "Hi, Emily." And like, Emily's right next to Derek. And she's like, "Hi, jerk." And then all Derek can be like, "Hey, you're wearing my shirt." And I feel like, shouldn't he at least try to pretend he's like grossed out by this? But he looks way too oddly pleased with how things panned out. He's like, "Oh, she's wearing my shirt. Didn't anticipate this, but I like where this is going."
He is into it.
I wonder if like he half thought she'd show up in like a bra.
No. No.
What if she tried to like make a shirt out of one of her pants?
What? Are you high?
No, I'm just thinking. Like, if she didn't think to get one of his shirts or ask Nora for hers, and she only had pants.
You're high. Guys, she's high.
I'm just thinking, though. It's just like, I wonder if she would even attempted it. Or if she just, like, would have not gone to school.
Probably wouldn't have gone to school.
Or she could have wore her pajama top.
No, because you saw what she was wearing. It was like, that's what my mom wears for pajamas. I know this because I'm pretty sure I bought the exact same one for Christmas one year for her.
I don't know if I'm sleep deprived or what, but...
Yeah. Okay, guys, Ashley's like, "Hi."
Okay, I've never done drugs in my life, okay?
That's not true.
Besides aspirin.
I mean, same. Let's be real. I'm a law-abiding citizen, even though it's legal in Canada. I'm just saying, marijuana is legal, but I am a law-abiding citizen, and I have a moral code, so no, I have not done it.
Alright, so, yeah, Derek's saying... Okay, so then Casey opens up her locker, and all the stuff Derek had stolen comes falling out of it. And her deodorant rolls down the hall, and it hits the new principal.
I thought that was like a makeup thing, because that was a weird-looking deodorant stick or whatever.
It was, but then she gets dubbed Deodorant Girl by the principal. So it's deodorant. I've never seen a deodorant look like that, but yeah. Okay. So this new principal, Mr. Lassiter, comes over, and apparently she's also wearing Derek's deodorant.
Yeah, I think he took all of that, so she had to use it.
Right, but again, she wore his.
Because I know. That's where you probably should have used
so now she's smelling like him, too. Wouldn't that be so weird, though? It's like you're sitting in class, and you're like, "Is Derek here?" Because you, like, smell his deodorant on you, and you're like, "Oh, wait, no, he's..." Like, she must constantly feel like he's there.
Yeah. Maybe she just wants him there always, so she's like, "I'm gonna wear your deodorant so I can smell you always."
That's a little creepy.
Well, she's a serial killer.
So, obviously Mr. Lassiter is getting this very low opinion of Casey already, just from how she looks. Because she looks like her hair's wild, she has no makeup, she's wearing, like, Derek's shirt and everything. She looks very sloppy and unorganized right now. Tinker is like, "No, Casey is the best student." He's creepy as well.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "No, she's, like, perfect." And Mr. Lassiter is like, "Well, I like punctuality, grooming, and tidiness. And you're 0 for 3.
That's a horrible thing for a principal to say. I like grooming and tidiness. Also, I'm sorry, but I've been listening to a lot of, like, true crime podcasts, so grooming in my mind right now is, like, something
it's like grooming different. To be,
like, pedophiles grooming.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I'm like, don't say that!
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if this dude was that.
I mean, he looked really pedo-like. I'm just saying.
He notices Derek, and he's like, "And who are you?" And Tinker's like, "Oh, that's Derek. He got to know the principal really well." And he was like, "Well, I hope to have the same opportunity." Like, And then after he's saying like, "I like my students well groomed," he's
Mm.
like looking at Derek, and he's like,
Oh my god, maybe he likes Derek.
"We turn life with Derek into some messed up place."
Like, we have messed up brains, apparently.
So, but it's like, dude, you have no idea. I think Tinker eventually like fills him in. Like, no, Derek knows the principal very well because he's always in trouble. So then Emily comes up to Casey after all that, and they comment on how tough Lassiter seems. And Emily says that Derek better watch out because obviously he's so tough, he might actually do something that might jeopardize with Derek. So Casey doesn't care, and she was like, she wants Derek to get kicked out, so you'll have to be sent to military school. And then she goes off on a daydream of Derek in uniform. Like, I get the thing that because like he's coming from home from military school and he's all like strict and everything, and then he stays for like 5 seconds, then he has to go back to military school. But like, especially because like she comes out of that daydream and she looks all like
Yeah, maybe she wants Derek to be a military man.
wow, Casey and her kinks.
Oh god, we've destroyed
That
this
could be
show.
a really good band name.
A band name?
D-Rock.
Casey's Kinks? What?
Casey and the Kings. Casey and her kinks.
Casey and the Kinks. That's good. I like it.
For the next battle of the bands, D-Rock versus.
D-Rock and Casey and the Kinks.
And then considering we said D stand for Dick and D-Rock,
Dick Rock and Casey and the Kinks.
they wouldn't let them perform.
Fucking wild. We're horrible.
Okay, back to this episode. Casey then goes to Paul's office, and she's asking Paul, like, what is so funny about pranking someone? Because, like, you're just, like, purposely embarrassing someone. And Paul's like, oh, let me, take a shot in the dark here, Derek? And she's like, yeah. And it's just, like, it's so obvious by now that everything always comes back to Derek with her. So, And Casey says she should do something to get Derek back. But, Casey, I thought you said to not stoop to their level.
You know it's not gonna end like that.
So Paul then well, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And Casey says, well, what about 200 wrongs, including him being born? It's like, damn, Casey. So in the hallway, and then sitting on the stairs, Casey gets up when she sees Tinker walking by with like this chair. And he's carrying new furniture for Lassiter, because he had gotten like all new furniture, and he says that he has to feng shui the office, but he doesn't even know what that is. And Casey's like, I do, and I could help you.
I love how, like, you can be like, yeah, I get it, you understand feng shui, but like, if she says remove everything, well, that's not that's not telling at all.
Well, I imagine like at first she was like, okay, so we have to take everything out of the room to clean it, to clean the air, to clean the office of all the bad feelings.
Of all the bad juju.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, okay. And we have to take it all the way to the roof because we need to air out all the furniture as well. It's just something stupid like that. Or she just told Tinker straight up, hey, I want to pull prank. You're going to help me. And then Tinker, because he's so infatuated with her, he was like, okay, sure, okay.
Yeah, probably.
One of those two. Either way, Casey's manipulative. Right?
Yeah. She's always manipulative. We know this. She's a serial killer. TED Talk. I wrote this down in my notes. I was like, yo, she's manipulating people to do her dirty work.
Mm-hmm. So it cuts to Lassiter going to his office, and it's completely void of anything except for his little microphone to talk into the intercom.
PA system.
Yeah. So then you hear Lassiter over the intercom saying that he is missing a bunch of his personal items and that he is not amused. And they show Casey, and she's like trying to stop grinning because she's obviously like, I did that.
I did that.
Yeah, I did that. And Derek's also laughing, like he's having a riot because he just thinks like the situation is hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone is going to Derek and congratulating him on a good prank. And, even when he tries to say he didn't do it, no one believes him. So he just lets everyone think he did do it. And then Casey gets annoyed. She's like, wow, he's just getting kudos for it and like he's not going to get in trouble. And then right as Derek's about to leave, he gets stopped by Lassiter. And he gets taken to the office. So then at dinner, Nora asks the kids if anything interesting happened at school, and Casey says yes, that someone had taken the principal's furniture up to the roof, and it was found with pigeon poop all over the place.
What'd she call it though? She's like, it was pigeon stuff.
Yeah, she couldn't even say like poop.
She made it
The
sound
goop,
way worse
like,
than it was.
yeah. I just thought like of like a pigeon like exploded and just like a bunch of the
God.
pigeon's remains was on it or something. I'm very morbid. Okay. Nora asked if they know who did it, and all the while George is looking at Derek, and he was like, well, they should have, probably tested the principal out with a smaller prank before going for the big kahuna.
No, George, you shouldn't. You should never prank the principal. You're a horrible father.
Which is what Nora basically was saying.
Yeah. God.
But
Let's talk about this. In what world would a parent say, good job with pranking? You shouldn't have gone big on the principal who's in charge of your whole school career. No, you should have started small. Pranking. Yeah. God, this show, I just want to fucking punch it.
so, and then Derek's like, yeah, I know, I wouldn't have done that either. And Derek was like, well, he's bound to find out like that you did it. And Casey was like, well, Derek already went to the principal. And she was like, so how many detentions did you get? And Derek says none. But he has to meet him first thing in the morning to either confess or he gets expelled. And then, of course, George is like, oh, Derek. And then Derek's like, yeah, and you have to come too. Like, when was he going to drop that bombshell?
I have no idea.
Like, right before school the next day, hey, Dad, could you drop me off to school? Yeah, Dad, can you come to the office with me? Then they get to the office, like, hey, Dad, can you sit down next to me?
I'm being expelled.
Yeah, Dad, can you just stay? The principal has to talk to you.
God, it's
Not
so
ever
bad.
telling him exactly what they're there for. Just like constantly just asking for more and more.
So bad.
But yeah, so later Casey goes to Derek's room and she walks in and she asks how he's doing since he seems worried. And Derek's like, I'm not worried, just another day, another prank. And Casey's like, but you didn't do this prank, did you? And he's looking at her and he's like, you're the only one that believes me. He says that all this, like, if he didn't actually do this prank, he would have thought that he did this prank because it had all his usual trademarks. That it was brash and brave and stupid. And Casey actually looks very proud that she has, pulled off a good, like a Derek approved prank. And so Derek's like, because it looks so much like a prank I would do, that means that someone must have set me up. And Casey's like, oh, well, you can't think of anyone who wouldn't want to get back to you after something you did to him or her?
He was doing the classic evil villain speech where they give up their whole plan.
Oh. Yes, she was.
They monologue.
Yes. And she just like she wants everyone to know the evil thing she did and how she did it. And Derek can't really think of anything. He thinks of this one person who put a frog in his lunch, which, ooh, Derek, why are you doing these things? And then he did something else with elastic in someone's shorts or something. It was, I don't know. And then Casey's like getting impatient at this point, and there's no one else that you would torture like on a day-to-day basis that would want to like get back at you. And he was like, besides you? And she's like, no, not someone like me. And Derek nearly doesn't believe her because, it's Casey, and so he laughs. And he says that she doesn't have the muscle to pull off something like this. But then she was like, well, I do know someone who has access to the dolly. And, I guess that's how they got it up to the roof. That's what I'm curious about, how they got all that stuff up to the roof. So then Derek, he puts two and two together, and he was like, Tinker Tomlinson and you? Impressive. And he truly does seem very impressed. But then he has to add, for a rookie. No, he was just saying that this person, whoever it was, they made a prank that would be all the things he would do. He just didn't want to give her the benefit of saying like she did a really good prank.
That's true.
But he was still very impressed, and you could see it. He was very impressed with her.
Yes.
Like once again, he was like, "Damn, Casey is just like she could be the next him. She could. That's the scary thing. Like
I was just gonna say, it's because serial killers, they're both serial killers, and they're impressed by each other's serial killerness.
Okay, Vanessa.
I'm just gonna leave now.
No, we still have a little bit to go.
But my pizza is being made.
Why did you have pizza made?
I ordered it hours ago.
It's just now coming?
Yes, because I ordered it for a later time.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Is it here?
No, it's being made at the moment. It's in the
Oh,
oven.
okay.
Oh no, it's perfection check is happening. So soon it will be out for delivery.
Okay. Casey then asked Derek if he's mad. And he's like, no. Like, my ridiculously high school status is even higher now. And, and then he says that, and then when he goes to the principal's office, he can actually tell the truth and say he didn't do it. So Casey gets mad that he still wins even when he gets in trouble.
Anyway, no one would even believe Derek if he said he didn't do it, though.
No, but considering he thinks that there's no proof.
Not even, though, but he could always be like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And everyone's like, obviously you did it. And he's like, no, I didn't.
Right, so but I think he's just banking on the fact that the principal doesn't have any proof that he didn't or did do it. So he's just banking on that. Like, they can't say he did something just because everyone thinks he did. That sets a bad precedent. Casey gets mad that he still wins even when she gets in trouble. And then, she proceeds to hit him with his pillow and then storm out. It cuts to Derek and George at the principal's office the next day. And George is, like, fidgeting like crazy.
It's like he's in trouble at the principal's office.
Yeah. And Derek tells his dad to, like, relax. Like, it'll be fine. And then Lassiter comes in, and George is, like, shaking his hand like crazy, saying he wishes they were meeting under better circumstances and that maybe they should go bowling.
He just wants to go on a date with him.
But eventually, after George sits down again, like, he vouches for Derek.
Because that means something.
Yeah. And Lassiter's like, well, I, wish that held some weight, but... And then he brings out these two heavy boxes of George's records from when he went to school there. And you know how he was a troublemaker, so...
I'm so confused, though. Like, do they just keep your records in there even after you've graduated?
I have no idea.
Or is he just like... Maybe he knew George and was like, I'm taking notes.
He was the nerdy kid that George always, like,
yes.
picked on in school.
Exactly.
And then now he's out for revenge.
Exactly.
So, out of the office in the hallway, Casey finds Tinker hiding under the stairs. He's worried about Derek, and Casey said, nah, he'll be fine, he'll deny it, and since there's no evidence, he won't get in trouble. But Tinker says there is evidence, though. Derek's ID was found on the scene of the crime. And Casey automatically just like gets like starts feeling guilty. She's like, she wants to confess, but Tinker says Lassiter will know she had an accomplice, and he doesn't want to get in trouble. And just at this point, we then hear a "Free Derek!"
Oh, God.
And it's Emily holding a sign outside the principal's office.
God.
Casey tries to tell her that she actually pulled the prank, but she doesn't believe her. Emily is like, we need to show the principal, how much the school appreciates Derek and how valuable he is to the school. And so this gives Casey an idea, and she runs off. Back into the principal's office, Derek tells him that he knows it's important to tell the truth, so he tells the principal that he didn't do it. And for the first time ever, like, Derek's telling the truth.
It's very hard to believe.
So George is like, "Can I call you Fred?" And the principal's like, "My name is Frank."
Frank, no.
"No, Mr. Lassiter to you." Like, damn, man. But George then says that despite himself being a master prankster and that his son being a master prankster himself, that if Derek says he didn't do it, he'll believe him. And Lassiter says that, he wants to believe Derek. There is evidence that links Derek to the scene of the crime, his ID, and he brings it out and shows Derek. And Derek's like, "Rookie mistake."
You're not a rookie.
Yeah, George's like, "You're not a rookie." But just as Lassiter is about to expel Derek, a huge roar is heard from the hallway. So he goes to check it out, and there is a group of students and a few teachers, according to Casey, showing how much Derek is a valuable member to the school and how much appreciated he is. She even says they'd be heartbroken if he were to be expelled.
No.
So Lassiter says that he's never seen such a heartfelt endorsement for a student before. And then, of course, Derek's like, "Does that mean I can stay?" And the principal's like, "No." Because what kind of principal would that make me? And then Casey's like, "The best principal ever?"
I don't get it, though. He's supposed to be such a hard ass.
I know! And then everyone just starts like cheering and everything, and apparently that changes his mind.
God, I
Like,
hate it.
"Oh, now they're cheering for me. I'm loved. I guess I will be the best principal ever and not expel him."
But yes, no, he's a hard ass. He shouldn't be the, "Oh, you can stay."
At dinner that night, they're talking about what happened with it all. And Derek says that Lassiter now wants to use Derek's popularity and use it to motivate other students. And he has pointed Derek to be the spirit consul.
No. Horrible choice. Horrible principal.
So, and then Nora says it was really touching that Casey stood up for Derek. And George agrees, but then he says, like, they still have to talk about why Derek lied in the principal's office when he said that he didn't do the prank. And then Casey's like, "Guys, it was me. I pulled the prank." And everyone just, like, looks at her for a couple minutes in silence. Not minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine they're all sitting there for, like, minutes just watching her?
Yeah.
So they just look at it for a couple seconds in silence.
God.
And then they just all start laughing, except for Derek. But then eventually he starts laughing too. Before saying, like, "There she goes again, sticking up for me."
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone goes to take a drink, but all the Venturis spill their water, or whatever they were drinking, because the McDonald girls had pulled a prank on them now.
Oh, God, it's...
They got their revenge, and then they start
So
doing a
dumb.
weird little dance at the end.
I hate it.
So yeah, that was that episode. I think that the resolution was a little quick
As do I.
and convenient.
It always is, though.
But I liked this episode. I thought it was funny. What did you think about this episode, Vanessa?
It's very serial killery. It's the only thing I track in these episodes is how much they rate on the serial killer scale. And the manipulations, the smirks, I'm watching her.
All right. Well, as we publish this podcast, it's going to be a few days before Christmas. So, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates that, but then also Happy Holidays to everyone else.
Happy Hanukkah.
And Kwanzaa, and if you don't celebrate anything, Happy December.
Happy December, indeed. End
Yes, happy.
of the year. Happy end of 2019.
And then also Happy New Year and Happy New I was gonna say Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
God, get it together.
Happy New Year as well as Happy January.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this will be our last podcast of the year, and we're going to take a little break. So hopefully we'll release an episode sometime in January. But if not,
If
definitely
not,
February.
classic us.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be away like half of January, and depending on how hectic work gets, it depends. So, so yeah, so definitely by February sometime we should be back, if not sooner. But again, hope everyone has a good holiday season, good winter, and we'll see you when we come back. So if you want to still talk to us, because you can give us questions and everything at Tumblr at daisy.tumblr.com or on Twitter at oopsiedaisypod. And then obviously you can leave comments in the comic section on YouTube. And you can always send us a voice message on Anchor. We will never
Always.
deny it.
It's true. We would never deny that.
So, even if you just left a hi, we would use it.
I'm gonna leave us one and pretend to be someone else.
Okay. You have anything else to say?
No.
Alright. Well, that's it for now. Bye bye.
Looks into the camera like I'm on The Office. You can end it now.